Steve Eby is my name. I farm with my dad Stan in Kincardine Township, the south part of Bruce County. We have capacity here for about 800 head of cattle. Most of our cattle come in as calves in that 600 to 700 pound range. Most of our cattle are sourced from Western Canada, so they'll be stopping at Thunder Bay for feed and water. That gives us another notification from the driver that they're in Ontario and they've got another number of hours before they'll be here. When that truck's on the road, chances are we're getting the pen ready. Whether it's an inside pen or an outside pen is weather dependent, but we'll try to have an extra water trough set up so we have lots of access to fresh water. The pen will be bedded up with straw and possibly some hay, depending on bunk space, maybe the history of the cattle. There'll be a lick tub in that pen, and long stem hay will be in the feed bunk. Once the cattle arrive, we're backing into a chute. We'll weigh all the cattle off truck. Chances are we definitely want to get it done sooner than later, but some cattle are more tired than others, depending on the trip. On arrival, the cattle would be exposed to some long stem hay, possibly hay as bedding, depending on kind of their history. Ideally, we'd know some history too, whether they've maybe been on a little bit of feed, some creep feed, but for the most part, we have to assume that we're starting from limited information, and how are we going to move those cattle up onto their grower ration over a set number of days. We'll also, a major part of our starter ration is a good quality feedlot starter. It'll be in a pelleted form, approximately a 2 pound per head per day feeding rate, that has a number of goodies in it, high B vitamins. We'll use decox for coccidiosis control. Last year, it was the first year we had some chromium in that ration. Then we'd look at consistent intakes for 3 or 4 days on that first step, then move them to the second step, which will be the same ingredients, but we'll change the ratios, cut that hay back a little bit, up that silage a little bit, likely up that grain a little bit to get that energy density in there. That starter pellet will still be in there. And if it's an outside bunk, do we have lids on those bunks to keep the ration dry if it's raining or snowing? We also have a protocol set up for any respiratory pulls or that type of thing. If we've used a product like Duraxin on arrival, chances are we're going to something like Resflor or its equivalents for first pulls. So we'll be walking pens at least twice a day and observing them more often during that first number of days. If we do have a pull, first thing we'll do is check the temperature. Temperature will tell us part of the story. We are set up with some sick pens. We like to refer them as happy pens around here, that we can isolate an animal with a poor leg or something that just needs to be by itself. We will use a rumen paste on some real tough ones to try to help activate that rumen or keep it activated, that type of thing. So hopefully we don't have too many pulls, but the reality is we do, and all this is recorded, tag number, lot number, pen, date. Ideally, we want as much background information as we can get. We work with a local order buyer here in Ontario who has connections across Canada, and we count on that expertise to help us make informed decisions on what we're purchasing or bidding on. So some of that information will include like what's the health status of these cattle? Has the cow herd been on a good solid vaccination program? Have the calves received one or maybe a second shot, have been boosted? When they get here, then we'll evaluate off truck, did they meet that requirement? And then they'll go into our standard receiving protocol. Part of the reason mentioned leaving the ranch tags in. That's part of that, I guess, that assessment all the way through the feeding period. Not only on arrival, but right through to finish. We can visually see some of those cattle, as well as look at their performance data at various reimplanting stages as well. So all that goes into that initial discussion as to do we want to purchase those cattle. If it's a repeat ranch we've dealt with, we'll have a review meeting at least once a year with our veterinarian and our nutritionist and our feed rep right here in the shop, basically right here where we're standing. Analyze the data that the number of cattle that were received, the polls that we had, the treatment success, any repeats in their success, any deads, postmortems associated with that. Is there any trends that we can see that maybe need addressed? So all that goes into a review meeting. Okay, just looking at some of our protocols and our paperwork here that we work with our veterinarian and our nutritionist with, have some charts that are made up with product name, route of delivery, dosage, and then withdrawal times, kind of on master sheets, and they're handy to have in the barn. We'll take a sheet like this and just laminate it and have it in the barn beside the chute if we're watching a particular withdrawal window as far as cattle shipment goes. Some master protocols that are set up, and then we transfer I guess some of this information as it's used chute side into a little notebook. And again, very important, kind of working day in and day out with this, but then we can have a good discussion with our veterinarian and our nutrition people on the results and tweaking the protocols as needed.